Hello everyone and welcome back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Wrath of the Druids DLC with me, longclawvalyriansteel, where we always deliver. Well, we're getting very close to completing this DLC, just 2 missions remain. And in the last video, part 10, we discovered that Abbot Eogan is the main destructive force facing King Flanns' armies. And he also is the evil man of God responsible for the Children of Danu and their evil ways. Now you can find all of these episodes of this DLC on my channel, along with all the story arcs from back in England, Iceland and even Vinland. So don't forget to check them out. You see, King Flann is a devout Christian, but Ireland is a complicated historical country, and the Druids themselves are not the enemy. In fact, they were the original inhabitants of the island. But Abbot Eogan has a cultist faction, the Children of Danu, and they're responsible for attempting to purify the Irish lands and remove all the pagan representation from the country. His attempt to corrupt the Irish realms and cause chaos has been largely unsuccessful thanks to Ivor, but until he's wiped out completely, there will be no peace for Flann. Before getting to the Abbot and his deceptive plots, I'm helping out my business partner Azar with her own mysterious past. I have dragged her evil nemesis, Konstantinos, from his ship just outside Dublin, and I can now bring him to her so she can exact her revenge. And what of Kiara? She is wrapped up in the Druids' ways for sure, and after finding out that she was in fact part of the children herself before turning aside when she realised how far they were prepared to go to secure their vision, it's a bit of a shocker, and King Flann is unaware of her involvement. His faith in his poetess would surely be in question if he could link her to the mysterious and treacherous cult group that's causing him so much damage. Now Azar's ready to exact her revenge, I can focus my attention on the Abbot himself. Check out the channel for all of the rest of the content, and don't forget to have a look at my GTA and Red Dead Online series as well. We've got 2 great DLCs coming up, and not forgetting that Assassin's Creed itself, Valhalla, will be getting a new DLC this summer, the Siege of Paris, and I'm especially excited about that. And you know I'll be bringing everything to this channel, so don't forget to drop a like and a follow. Let's get into this and see what's going on.
Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me.
So now let's get to the Abbot. King Flann and his forces, largely collected and represented by Sicfrith, who's doing a great job of gaining the High King of Ireland's favour. All in place outside and waiting for the assault on Armagh Fortress. After a little bit of a parley with the kings and his representatives, it's decided that a bit of raiding would not go amiss, since Sicfrith has promised the Vikings that they will be able to raid and conquer, and that's how he's managed to get them together and get them to agree to fight under a Christian bannerhead. This seems to stifle King Flann just a little. He's not particularly happy about making false promises, especially to a group of cutthroat Danish warriors. And we don't get to see how this plays out, but this is just an example of some of the promises that were made back in this period in history. The Danes themselves were there purely for honour and silver, and of course they were trying to mine the land, which was far more fertile than their own homeland. As we know, we've done some of this in Ravensthorpe. But there's a little interesting scene that plays out as Kiara enters the tent. She gives you a clear look that says, Ava, don't give away my involvement in the Children of Danu. That's how I interpreted it. And of course, it's easy for you to sort of keep King Flann focused on his battle plans, and that part of the story is not yet revealed. You see, he has high regard for his poetess, and at this stage he is more interested in her capturing his victory at Amar. Kiara herself is obviously taken with Ava. You've already shared some romantic experiences together, and she herself now talks about recording Ava's own journey and singing songs for him. Now, wouldn't that be something? He's got some tales to tell. Outside, Flann surveys his future kingdom. This is an important assault for the High King, and if he can take down the evil abbot, it's going to set him up as really the unquestioned ruler of this country. And maybe that will be bringing us to the end of our Wrath of the Druids storyline, which will be just about in time for the new DLC which is coming out. You have a chance to go off and do some other stuff, but I'm pretty much done with everything, so I'm happy to push forward with this attack. King Flann will lead the way, and all you need to do is just follow. And like some of the other battles in the Wrath of the Druids DLC, this is a little different from the story arc battles when you were going around England taking on larger fortresses. These are smaller, and there don't seem to be that many guards inside. You can run straight through and get to work on the courtyard, taking out all of the guards as you enter, the interior guards. King Flann stays pretty close behind you, which can be a little bit annoying, but once you've thinned out the small group of guards, head over to the portcullis and climb up either side. There are some guards wandering about on the top, and you can take those out, the arbalist archers, and then get to work on raising the portcullis. There's a small lever which you can interact with, and that will help you there. King Flann seems to be able to handle himself, but Sicfrith may need some revival from time to time. He does get knocked down fairly easily. Once the majority of the guards are taken care of, you can head to the main gates and get to work on those. You need to climb inside the main keep and take out the bolts on the back of the door, and then you can open and let the forces through. There are a fair number of exterior guards that sort of just stayed around the perimeter of the fortress, and I'm not sure if this was a bit buggy, but some of them seem to be frozen in place, and you can just take them out as you interact with them. After you start bringing down the majority of the forces, you can start to see the arrows appear above their heads, signifying that they're the remaining guards. Let's just get this young Sicfrith back on his feet, and we can get to work on the main gates. It took me a while to figure out that there is actually a pathway on the side, around the side, so if only the rest of my forces could climb up with me, we wouldn't need to open these gates, but never mind. Use your favourite abilities. You should have quite a few by this stage to take out all of the guards inside, and there should be, see that, like this guy here has just stood not looking at me, not interacting with me, and that's a little bit disappointing. It might be a little bug with this particular mission, but there are certainly guards that do approach. And some of the guards you need to get a little bit closer to them before they actually interact with you. So if you can use your long range weapon, your bow and your arrows, you'll be able to get rid of them. And you also need to do a fair bit of pillaging and burning as well. There isn't that much to take from inside the fortress at this stage, but do spend some time burning down the thatched roofs of the cottages. And the best way to do that, rather than climb on it or waste time throwing your lit torches, is just use the burning braziers outside the cottages and light up some arrows, and then you'll be able to burn the cottages pretty quick. And once they're on fire, you'll get told to go and regroup with King Flann, who has made his way all the way to the outside of the main keep. Just need to get rid of this pesky guard first. Don't forget to stock up on any rations as you go around. There is a fair bit of mushrooms and also some berries and things like that as well. That will help you in the final fight, although if you are getting pretty good at the hand-to-hand combat stuff, you shouldn't have too much trouble. King Flann is still charging around behind me with his sword. Here we go, finally I can get my hands on the main gates. So the 2 bolts sitting on the back of the door, just blow them off and then open the gates. And as soon as you do, a force of guards will suddenly appear behind you and you want to take those out. I just spent some time going around to pick up whatever I could. They actually have like morning stars as well, which I hadn't seen on many of the guards. That can be pretty damaging. You can see it took quite a lot of my health here, and I had to be a little bit careful. But around this courtyard there are berries and rations available which you need to pick up before sort of heading further inside. There you go. So once you get inside the main house of God, or the big church, Abbot Eogan doesn't waste much time in sort of trading off words with the king. He doesn't have much respect for him anymore. His main beef, it seems to be that King Flann himself doesn't single out the Druids as pagans and shun them into exile, and he continues to reign over them and allows them to live, because many of them, as Kiara has told you before, live in and operate in peace. It's just the Children of Danu who are operating illicitly and performing deeds which are threatening the moral code and also the Christian worship in the country. And let's not forget, we now know that this evil Abbot Eogan, I think that's how you pronounce it, it's E-A-G-O-N, and when you hear King Flann pronounce it, he says Eogan. He seems to be, or he is, the leader of the Children of Danu. So his aim here has been to use this evil faction of cultist druids to do his dirty work and try to corrupt the Christian faith, to highlight or try to pin some of these misgivings, these evil deeds on the Druids, so that he can cleanse the country of what he considers is competitive pagan rule, which it wasn't actually true. I mean, for many years the pagans and the Christians lived alongside each other and they learnt things from each other. You need to watch out for the abbot's attack. You saw he just grabbed me then from behind and stabbed me repetitively, but he doesn't take much to put him down. And once you've taken the majority of his health, which again doesn't take long, he then makes a little bit of back talk while he's on the ground in his dying breaths, and then he collapses and he's all done. You don't even need to kill him. The problem now is that he's divulged to King Flann that Kiara was once a druid, and that he's chastising the king for having this pagan poetess who he confesses that, or rather he accuses King Flann of being obsessed with and in love with. I'm not sure where that's going, but you have to play mediator here and try to keep things calm. There's no sense in King Flann bloodying his sword. After all, I mean, the bishop's going to die anyway, the abbot is going to die anyway. He does ask your opinion on the whole Kiara thing, and that is for you to decide, but I mean, I think this story has we're getting very close to the end here. This is the penultimate mission, and I think that the rest of this story will play out in the final mission, which I will bring you in my next video. Head outside with King Flann and have a little debrief. Sicfrith will join you, and it seems that we're kind of done with the fighting side of thing here. King Flann has his peace. He has eradicated the leader of the Children of Danu. There are still a few members of the Children of Danu in my order menu that I need to try and take out, but we're getting very close, and we're kind of done with the majority of the story missions, and there's, as I say, just one final mission, the finale. Seems that Sicfrith has earned his place in court, and he's certainly earned the throne of Dublin, so hopefully that is enough for him, and that is the assault over Armagh. And King Flann now hopefully will continue to sort of shepherd young Sicfrith on the throne of Dublin and in his court, and teach him the things that he was not able to learn from his father, because of course we know Barry was taken far too early. So it seems things are pointing for Eivor to almost be ready to go back home. But as I say, we've got one more mission coming very soon, and I'll be bringing you that. And don't forget to check out the rest of the channel, the content on the channel, and I'll be back with another video soon.